hope we're asking questions till the day that we die. I know that age will make the answers less important with time. So when we find ourselves in wreckage like we did last night, I hope you're smiling in the morning. I hope you feel alright. Oh, I know this life is crazy sometimes. Just 'cause you got it by the light don't mean you make it every time. So why don't you try to hold your head up high? Need to find a joy tearing up this pride. 'Cause baby, we're alright.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage from Wish TV, the face of Indianapolis sports, Anthony Calhoun.
What's going on? Come on, give it up. Come on. Let's get around it. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Miss Kellogg right there. I only want to say good morning to me. Good morning, everybody. Man, we are set for a great weekend. Welcome to the city that is known for putting on and playing host to the biggest sporting events in the country. No city does it better than Indianapolis. Am I right about that? And how about this? This is the 9th time, think about it, 9th time that our great city has played host to the Final Four. How about that? 9th time. All right, we got to get you guys awake. I know look, I should be the one tired. I'm the one on TV at 11 o'clock at night. So I know we're in Big Ten country, and for, the first time since 2015, we got 2 Big Ten teams in the Final Four. All right, so let me hear you. All right, where are those Illini fans? Where are you in the house? Let me hear you. Got a couple back there. All right. Been a Syracuse grad. It just breaks my heart to say this, but we got any Connecticut fans, UConn fans in the house? Wow. See, they're so spoiled. We got one right there. They're so spoiled. 3rd Final Four in the past 4 years. Unbelievable. All right. We got any Arizona fans in the house this morning? Arizona fans. All right. Finally, they won the Big Ten regular season title. What about Michigan? Any Michigan fans? And finally, do we have any college basketball fans in the house this morning? All right. Okay. All right, so let's get this party started this morning. I'm so glad everyone's here, and I tell you this much. I've been in this event time and time again, and it is an incredible morning we're about to have here. So sit back, relax, and really enjoy yourself. First up, I'm going to bring 3 individuals to the stage that have a huge heart for our great city of Indianapolis and the state of Indiana. One is a 4-time Olympic gold medalist and an entrepreneur. Our next guest as well is an IndyCar driver, all right, that has, kind of hangs out the course right down the street here, the oval, I should say, at the big racetrack down the street from here. And finally, we've got a Kroger executive who, he and Kroger, they continue to invest in our great city and the state of Indiana. As a matter of fact, they invested over $200 million, everybody. Come on, over $200 million as well. Please put your hands together. We got Tamika Catchings. Give her a big round of applause. The legend herself. Stingray Robb as well. And our man here from Kroger, Tony Brown. Come on, give them all a big round of applause. All right, so you guys know we've got a lot of guests here in town visiting our great city of Indianapolis. And so I want you guys to fill out the rest of this sentence, okay? It's a simple question. Here it is. The one place they have to visit, all right, in Indy this weekend, the one place. Tamika, I'll let you go first.
Well, since you're asking, I would say the one place, can I pick 2?
Well, how can I tell a Hall of Famer no, right? Right? All right, you can.
My first place would obviously be the one and only Tease Me Cafe.
Yes, of course, yes. Yes.
That would be the first place.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
amazing little tea shop.
Yeah,
You
we
gotta
heard.
go. Okay, so that would be my first.
Yeah.
But my second would be Gamebridge Fieldhouse. That is my house, my second house,
Yeah.
outside of my real house. So
Okay, all right.
Gotta go check it out.
We got some
Okay.
hoops going on this weekend. Yep, on Sunday. Division 1, Division 2, that is, and Division 3. All right, so she said, tease me. I've been to your cafe many times, and the tea is incredible. And courtesy of Miss Catchings here, everybody's getting a bottle of tea. How about that? Give it up, give it up. Before I go to Stingray Rob, you got to tell the story you just told me just moments ago about Tamika Catchings and her place Tease Me. This is pretty cool.
So this is embarrassing, but to answer the question that you asked, AC, I'm going to second your Tease Me Cafe recommendation. I've been before, great place, but I've actually met Tamika before, unknowingly. So I went into Tease Me for the first time, and I go up to the counter, and I'm like, there's no coffee here, it's just tea. I love tea, this is perfect. And this young lady hands me a cup of tea. I'm like, no, like I need to pay for it. She's like, no, take it, you'll love it, try some more, come back later. I'm like, all right. And I turn around and I go to like walk out of the cafe, and I see on the picture, I'm like, oh, it's Tamika Catchings on the wall. I'm like, wait a second. And by the time I turned around, she had walked out behind backstage. So I got to meet Tamika before, and it was a huge blessing that she gave me a nice cup of tea.
I love it. All right, so she says, tease me and Gamebridge Fieldhouse. What are these people I need to visit this weekend while they're here?
Well, as you can tell from my race suit, I am an IndyCar driver, so I have to wear my brand ambassadorship. You have to go to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, yeah.
Racing capital of the world.
Yep.
You have to go, and make sure you stop at the museum while you're there. It's a great exhibit. They just opened it up last year, so little plug there for myself.
All right, a guy who drives just 230 miles an hour, no big deal. All right, Tony, if you say Kroger, come on now. Yeah.
AC, if I am telling you a place to go, it is Kroger, because we are the best store in Indianapolis.
All right, next question here. All right, you hear it all the time, guys. In 49 states, it's just basketball. But this is Indiana, right? But you also can say, in 49 states, it's just racing. But this is Indianapolis, right? So my question to you two, what is the state? Is it basketball or is it racing? What would you guys say?
It's racing.
It's definitely basketball.
Oh, come on.
Look around.
It's the racing
How many
capital
of
of the
you guys
world.
here are here to go racing?
I think that you have a favored crowd here. I'm in
How
enemy
many of you
territory.
guys here are here for some college basketball?
All right.
All right. Sorry, Stingray.
All right,
I love you, man.
poor Tony
come
feels
to the Indy 500.
Tony feels left out here. All right, Tony, before we wrap things up, I do want to say this. Come on, Tony, I'm talking to you. Come on. I mentioned how we know how great Kroger is. We know. I mentioned moments ago about how much you guys invested in our community in the state, which you can't say it time and time again, just over $200 million. And your motto is feeding the human spirit. And it's not by coincidence that you guys are a huge sponsor of this event here today as well.
AC, there's no doubt about that. When we think about feeding the human spirit, we take it very serious, being a part of the community, and it's very important to take care of the people of the community. But I would also tell you, for the last 29 years, AIA has been doing that exactly right here.
That's right.
So we are in no coincidence, we are honored to be a sponsor.
That's awesome. How about that, everybody? That's amazing. All right, so I think my man here has some final words for everybody here.
So normally when I get to wear this suit, I'm on the receiving end of what I'm about to tell you, but welcome everyone. Welcome to Indiana. Yeah, all right. Indiana fans, that's good. But I just have one thing to say to you all. And this is exciting because I never get to say
I'm
this.
getting
but,
fired
all right,
up,
here we go.
especially what's coming up next month. So I'm getting fired up.
That's right.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
my practice round. So,
Yeah.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
Let's go.
Gone!
This is going to be Darling. He's got to go. Darling puts it up. St. John's is going to the Sweet 16. Sturks bounce pass to the corner. Garris for three. Iowa knocks off the defending national champs.
Welcome to the Final Four, a single weekend to resolve the madness of March and determine this year's champion of college basketball. Since the tournament's inception in 1939, no team has claimed the coveted title more than the UCLA Bruins, led by their legendary head coach, John Wooden. A leader in every sense of the word, Coach Wooden shared his commitment to excellence and character, both on and off the court. Welcome to the 29th annual Coach Wooden Keys to Life Breakfast. Welcome to the stage, your host for this morning's event, the co-host of First Things First on FS1, Chris Broussard.
Hello, Indianapolis. It is great to be here back in the fan favorite Final Four location. And I do mean back. I grew up, I moved around a lot as a kid. I lived in 6 different cities before I graduated from high school. And I say this in all sincerity. I lived here for 4.5 years in Indianapolis. It was my favorite city to live in as a kid. So it's great to be back. Indianapolis, of course, the home of basketball, is tournament central this year. The Division I, II, and III champions, plus the NIT champion, will all be crowned here this weekend. So what a time to be in the city of Indianapolis. And we can't talk about this Final Four without talking about the shot. You all know the one I'm talking about. Here it is. What a shot. And I heard earlier there are hardly any UConn fans here. But this might make you a fan. That was the freshman Braylon Mullins. He is the pride of Greenfield Central High School, just 21 miles from here, yes. 1 year ago, he was, of course, Indiana's Mr. Basketball, and a few nights ago, he hit the biggest shot of his life, and he is, again, from right here. So we are so glad that you are all here with us this morning because you are in for a treat. Through fun banter, through great stories, and some very special guests, you are going to laugh, you might even cry, and if you pay attention, you will notice there's a thread that will weave throughout the entire morning, and that is the idea of anchoring. What it means, why it matters, and how it changes everything. So with that said, let's get this party started right now. All right, to help me navigate this morning, I've brought in some backup. He played basketball in Indiana at Purdue University under both coaches Gene Cady and Matt Painter. He's a man of great character, and apparently he's also a reality TV star. Help me welcome, folks, Matt Carroll.
Thanks for having me here, Chris. Good to see you.
It's good to have you here, Matt. Now, I have to ask that life often throws us a lot of curveballs.
Yes, it does.
And other things as well. Have you been dodging anything recently?
Yeah, a couple bullets, and you could say some other things as well. Maybe a chair or two.
Well, now, for those that may not know, you were supposed to star on The Bachelorette.
That's right. I was on the recent season that apparently is now in a vault somewhere at ABC. We'll see if it'll ever air, but I was on that season. Yeah, I'm surprised you've heard of it.
Yeah, well, I don't live under a rock, so I've heard of that.
Well, you're a lot more hip than I thought you were, Chris.
Yeah,
So.
I heard some other things too. So tell us why you won't be making your TV debut and everybody won't know you and you'll be mega famous from The Bachelorette.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'll frame it this way. Steve Alford and I actually were, there he is. Hey, Steve. We were actually connecting the other day at another event. And it was indoctrinated in me to hate IU, right? For all of you Purdue fans out there, a little cheer. Oh man, that was weak. Okay, a lot less Purdue fans out there than I thought. But I was indoctrinated to hate IU, right? And then he was coaching at Iowa when I was at Purdue, so even further reason to hate, anything to do with that. Then we became fast friends, and then I realized, because we were bantering, laughing, and I said, oh my gosh, Coach, you and I both have famous chair incidents that now are famous. He was on the floor when Coach Knight threw it, and here we are with the famous Bachelorette scene.
Yeah, rumor has it that Steve was actually the reason Coach Knight hurled that chair.
That's what I hear.
And you were not the reason, though, that chairs were hurled.
That
with
is
the
correct.
Bachelorette.
I was not the reason.
That
Thank
is
God.
great.
Thank God.
Right. But look, we are glad to have you here. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And take it away.
Okay, well, with that, guys, please help me welcome Wally Szczerbiak to the stage. Well, this is a little awkward for me. Let me start with a little story here. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I was a big fan of yours growing up, okay? So I may have had a poster of yours on my wall. Actually, if I can make a confession, it was more of a shrine, okay? There may have been some red ribbon involved. I don't know. My parents thought it was weird. My friends thought it was weird. I thought it was okay. I thought it was normal. But all to say, it's an honor to have you here and to be able to talk to you this morning. What an amazing career you had at Miami of Ohio last century.
It was a long time ago.
AKA 1999. But let's kick it off by watching a little bit of a clip of what your career was like.
I think they should put him down in the corner where Stewart was.
Grunkemeyer is in for the first time, and Szczerbiak's over 40. 41 for Wally Szczerbiak. He's been up against an All-American performance today, but really has played well. Didn't start in this game. Szczerbiak drives to the hole for two.
Left-handed right over McCulloch and Clark.
Watts drives to the middle. Stripped away over to Clark. 4 seconds. Shot blocked. Szczerbiak to Szczerbiak. And Miami's going on to the second round. It's Wally's world, and welcome to it.
See, I do play a little bit of defense, just a little bit, every once in a while.
Well, I was reminded the other day when I was watching some highlights again of just how incredible of a career you had, especially in that NCAA run. But tell us a little bit about what it meant this year to watch this incredible run with that team. 31-0, second at-large bid since you were there in 1998, 1999. Tell us about what that was like to watch that.
Well, the first thing is, I work with Clark Kellogg, who's my mentor. He's amazing. He's taught me so much about the business, about basketball. Let's get it up for Clark. And I've been doing this now. This is my 17th year with CBS. And Clark always, has the Ohio State Buckeyes that he can cheer for off air, off camera. He's got like a team that he's invested in. So for the first time in a long time, Miami was very relevant on the national scene. So that was the first thing that was awesome. I had a little bit of bragging rights. I could actually talk a little bit of smack with all our colleagues. We have UNC guys, Duke guys, Ohio State guys, everyone, is at CBS. So that was the first thing that was so wonderful. And the last thing was, I have so much pride in that school. I went there from 95 to 99. I have a daughter who's a sophomore there. I've been very involved with the team, got to know Travis Steele as a coach, got to know all the players. So at the beginning of the year, I'll tell you a little story. I love the Eye on College Basketball podcast. Gary Parrish and Matt Norlander do a great job. And they were kind of trying to forecast who's going to be the last standing undefeated. And they were mentioning Arizona, I think early on. They might have been mentioning Purdue. They were off to a pretty good start early. And I was like, I texted the guys and they were on air. I said, keep an eye on Miami. No one would play them in the non-conference, and they're picked to projected to win the MAC. So keep an eye on Miami. And then the next episode, they were like, oh, Miami's 10-0. We might as well mention Miami. And then they kept going and going and going. And I just really appreciate the close games that they won, because it's not easy to do that. I played in the MAC. I know you've had a little bit of experience. The MAC was kind of right under the Big Ten, but it's not an easy league. And when you go on the road to Eastern Michigan, Western Michigan, Akron, Kent, Northern Illinois even, those are tough road trips. Those are tough venues. And in college basketball, what they accomplished, it was just special, and I'm so proud of them, and I can't wait for what's in store in the future for Miami.
Well, absolutely. Well said. And, you know, it's funny. My senior year, we actually went and played you guys at Miami of Ohio. We did not win.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a rough road trip back. You know, that was not fun. But, and that was Coach Painter's first season, and, you know, he reminds me often. I tell Coach Painter all the time, you know, my seasons there, unfortunately, impeded him from getting to 500 wins faster. You know, but leave us with this. One of the things that was amazing for you was your career at a mid-major. You went, all of a sudden you were drafted, you know, top 10. But what kept you going all those years when you were at that level and not really heavily recruited, but all of a sudden you worked your way all to the point where you were drafted the way you were? What kept you going? What kept you motivated? Tell us a bit about maybe even your faith along the way. Tell us about that.
Well, that's definitely a big part of it. You know, my dad had always taught me growing up, you know, he almost became a priest. He was going to a seminary up in Connecticut, and the only reason I'm here as a human being is because he found basketball when he was at that seminary when he was younger and he was a kid. So we went back to Pittsburgh, started playing on his high school team. He ended up being tall, broke his mom's heart, but he found the game of basketball, and that took him in a little bit different direction in life. And as a result, he taught me how to appreciate, you know, what we've all been given. And I've been very blessed. And when I was recruited, one of the reasons why I went to Miami is he always used to say, Wally, you're one injury away from not being able to play, you know, basketball anymore. He wanted me to make sure I focused on my studies and went to a good school, which I did. And I ended up going to Miami because it offered everything that a school should offer. It was a great campus, great school, great place. And as a result, when I got there, I was lucky to play for great coaches. You look, Sean Miller, Thad Matta, Herb Sendek, still in the NCAA tournament with Santa Clara, Charlie Coles, and Jimmy Christian, who coached at Boston College. So that coaching tree is the one that recruited me. When I got to campus, the way they developed me, it was unbelievable. Coach Katie was very influential in my career because I played for the Goodwill Games in 1998. We won the gold medal. He was an assistant coach on that team with Clem Haskins. And that team is where I kind of exploded on the national scene. And going into my senior year, I was a projected lottery pick. And you know, luckily everything worked out. And that game there really helped my draft stock, I think.
That's right. Well, Wally, thank you. Thank you for being a good sport, a shrine-worthy career, right?
You. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, but thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, and I appreciate it.
All right, back to you, Chris.
Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Wally. We have something in common. My dad studied to be a Catholic priest as well. Now, I'm glad he didn't go through with it. If you know anything about Catholic priests, I wouldn't be here. So, but it all worked out in the end. All right, anyone who has paid even a little bit of attention to college basketball over the last few years has watched the transformation in the sport. You've got the transfer portal, you've got NIL money, coaches being fired mid-season, rosters that look completely different in November than they did in April. And many people are now even calling it the Wild, Wild West. But how often do you actually get to hear about that from the players' perspective, the ones who are actually living through it? Well, this morning you will. So let me introduce 4 special guests who are current college players. All right, first of all, we've got the all-time leading scorer from The Ohio State University. And that's saying a lot because, of course, the great Clark Kellogg, Jim Jackson, Michael Redd, they all played for the Buckeyes. So please welcome the leading scorer for Ohio State all-time, Bruce Thornton. Also, we've got a top 75 recruit out of high school. He's played at Maryland and Butler. Please welcome Jamie Kaiser Jr. Also, the only player from here in the state of Indiana who's on scholarship at on Indiana's roster this season, please welcome Trent Sisley. And before we introduce our last guest, let's look at this clip.
Dreams are a reality right now. Braden Smith with the ball. Clock ticks. Down to 6. Down to 5. Smith shaking. Bacon. Smith puts it up. No! The foul! It's good! With .7 left. Trey Kaufman-Renn has given Purdue the lead. A chance at the last shot. It's up. No good. Purdue advances.
Incredible. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, from Purdue, Trey Kaufman-Renn. Henceforth, for this program, he'll be known as TKR. Is that okay? Yeah. TKR. All right. All right, you guys each have taken different roads in your basketball careers. One thing is true for each of you, though. You face challenges along the way. All right, so let's dive in and learn more about each of your individual journeys. Bruce, in the past season, you finally made it to your first NCAA tournament. So what was it like when you finally got to set foot on that court for the NCAA tournament?
First, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Amen. Amen.
When Diebler recruited me when I was 16 years old, our goal was always to win the national championship. I feel like that's the reason why I played college basketball. I feel like the reason a lot of guys played college basketball. So things didn't go to my way early. Barely didn't get to 500 to my sophomore year. Did like the 13th seed in a Big Ten tournament. So, but Diebler had so much faith in me. He poured me into God. They really helped me. This is the most I've lost in my life. I won a lot in high school, middle school, but he just told me just keep your faith first and keep pushing through. So that really helped me a lot. Then the confidence he had in me, the alumni, Clark Kellogg coming to speak the good word to me each and every day when he came to the school. So that's why I stayed at Ohio State, and I'm just glad I'm a Buckeye for life.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because obviously so many guys are transferring. This is an incredible stat. You are one of all Division I basketball right now, men's basketball. That's 365 schools. You are one of only 22 athletes that has stayed at the same school for 4 years. That's incredible. That's incredible. Now, of course, you mentioned some of the challenges, the losing, but your head coach was fired, mid-season 2024. In all those ups and downs in your career, what's kept you grounded and rooted?
My mother. She told me sometimes the grass ain't always green on the other side. So in life, there's adversity, and sometimes you just can't run from it. And the faith and the confidence Diebler had me when he was a head coach his first time, just says a lot about him and the coaching staff he brought around me just to be the person of who I am on and off the court. So for me, it was like a no-brainer. Like, I know where home is for me. I just wanted to get to the tournament. That's something that me and Dee prayed about, dreamed about, and when we seen our name, Ohio State getting across the board, it's like a dream come true for me.
All right, let's give it up for Bruce Thornton. All right, we're moving on to Trent Sisley. And Trent, you're from a town called Santa Claus, Indiana. So growing up, did you feel pressure to be jolly all the time? They made me say that. But all right, look, you played a pivotal role in Indiana's double overtime win at UCLA. You made the game-winning free throw with less than a second left as a freshman. So tell us about that moment.
Yeah, it was pretty special just to be in a double overtime game, even just to be on the floor at that point as a freshman. Something you work for your whole life. And then, to have the trust from coach and then, older guys just to get the ball in that moment and then get fouled and then go to the free throw line and knock down that first free throw was huge.
That's big. That's big. Let's give it up for Trent Sisley. All right, we will move on to Jamie. And Jamie, you started your career at Maryland before transferring to Butler, but you had a season-ending injury before you stepped foot to play even one game at Butler. What has steadied you through these frustrating times throughout your career?
I'd definitely say the people that I surround myself with on a daily basis. John Diebler, who's there in the back, was huge for me, keeping me confident every day and just making every day fun, even though I wasn't playing for a whole year. So I really appreciate him for that, and the teammates that I had too. So that was huge.
All right, let's give it up for Jamie. And then finally, TKR. Look, there's not many Division I players like you. You're 23 years old. You're an All-American this season. And you have 0 social media accounts. That's impressive. Yes. I think a lot of us could learn from that. You're also, though, a published author. All right? And you've got your book is on Amazon. Everybody on Amazon. It's called Get Better, Actualize Your True Self. So you wrote this while you were playing college basketball. So what made you want to do that in the first place, write a book? And what is, say, one thing you would like all of us to take from it?
Yeah, so first off, thanks for having me here. You know, it's an honor to be amongst all these, you know, great athletes, great coaches here. But I think what started the book was actually with my mindset coach, Jordan Delks. It was my sophomore year, and I wanted to bring a camp of college athletes together to work on their mind, body, and spirit for a week. You know, we have so much time. We're working on our games, or we're, you know, doing all these things in life that I really wanted to sit down for a week and be able to work on ourselves and build a group. And so the book's kind of just an introduction to the camp and then some of the mindset stuff that we talked about during that time.
That's great. That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Bruce Thornton, Jamie Kaiser Jr., Trent Sisley, and TKR. 3 seniors and a freshman, 4 different roles, all one room. Guys, thanks a lot. We appreciate you. All right, let's jump to the floor now where Matt is ready to introduce you to some special people. Matt is, here we go, our roving reporter.
There you go. Tom Abernathy. Do you guys know who Tom is? Okay, there we go. Well, let me educate you if you do not know. Tom was a part of the 1976 last undefeated basketball team. I think they set me up today. There's a lot of IU stuff going on here. But part of that IU team, right? And you and I have known each other for over 20 years now. Amazing, yeah? But let's take a video, or look at the video real quick before we get into a little bit of this interview.
They're going to wind up with 32 wins in a row. Down to Wayne Radford. 1 second. The basket is good. And Indiana is the national champion. Going away, they trail by 6 points at the half. They came through with a tremendous second half and defeat Michigan.
So what kind of feelings does that conjure up for you to watch that?
It's really amazing. We took it one game at a time. We had a heck of a good coach that made us stay focused. And I guess I'm sort of happy that Wally Zerbiak's team didn't knock us out from being the last undefeated team.
That's pretty funny, yeah. And, well, here's the thing, though. People forget that you guys were actually down during one of those tournament games. What did Bobby Knight say to you guys at halftime during that game to get you guys back on track? But keep this PG, all right? We are at Athletes in Action after all, so please keep it PG.
No, what was too bad was Bobby Wilkerson, one of our best players, got hurt like 3 minutes into the game. So at halftime, we were down 6 points. You would not have believed how calm Coach was. And he just said, you have, a little bit of time, 20 minutes to bring back, the championship and the undefeated season. So very calm, and we really did it for Bobby Wilkerson, actually.
All right, well, good job keeping it. All right, I don't believe you that he was calm. All right, well, hey, before you go, tell us a little bit about your influence in the city of Indianapolis and how you've coached, because people don't know this, maybe there's a lot of people from out of town here, how you helped coach a group called IBA for many years and influence a lot of kids here in town through coaching, through programs. Tell us a little bit about that.
So after playing in the NBA and over in Italy, I got into a business called, it's commercial real estate. I wanted to make money, so that's why I did that. Became a Christian at age 37 and realized that God had something more than me just making money. So the IBA was born, and it was a place to introduce kids really to the game of basketball. But I had an amazing opportunity to share Christ with lots of kids here in Indy. So
amazing. Well, thank you, Tom. We appreciate you, and congratulations again on the 50th anniversary of the undefeated team. Appreciate you. Well, guys, I'd like to transition for any of you guys who are coaches in this room of any kind, whether it be of young ages all the way up to the collegiate NBA level and beyond of any sport. Can you please stand? Well, thank you, guys. If you can look at the screen real quick. So Billy Graham once said, a coach will impact more lives in 1 year than the average person will in a lifetime. And I think everyone in this room, whether it be a teacher, a coach, anyone like that, has influenced all of us. And that's a lot of impact in this room. So thank you to all of you. We appreciate all you're doing.
Okay, I think we're going to get to our sponsors. Of course, we wouldn't be able to put on this wonderful event without them, so we certainly want to recognize them. Our presenting sponsor, please stand when I announce you. Our presenting sponsor is Kroger. Our full court sponsor is Thrivent. Slam Dunk sponsors Second Presbyterian Church and James Avery Jewelers. Our three-point sponsors, Nations of Coaches, PNC, Scott Whitlock Family, Shepherd's Community Center, Simply Driven, Duke Homes, American Senior Communities, and Indy Sign. Our baseline sponsors, Highland, The Pyramid Principle, and Tease Me. Now we have a couple of extra special welcomes. We have a group from Newcastle, which is Steve Alford's hometown, right here with us today to celebrate. Even the mayor, Mayor York, is here. We also have a group from Martinsville. That's Coach Wooden's hometown, and obviously he'd be very pleased that you guys are here. And then Dick Schultz, the former CEO of the NCAA and CEO of the USOC, is here as well. Thank you for joining us, Dick. A couple of quick reminders. Be sure to visit Thrivent's table. It's located near the food, so you can sign a birthday card for a hospitalized child here in Indiana. And Thrivent, we want to thank you for being a light in this world, as well as being a purpose-based financial advisory group. We've also got some great items at the silent auction tables. So it's open 5 minutes after the close of the event. You'll have 5 minutes after the close of the event to go to the silent auction. So make sure you do that as well. All right, so at this time, I would like to welcome to the stage the president of Athletes in Action, but really just a great basketball guy, Eric Nelson. Thank you for being here, Eric. Great to see you.
Thanks, Chris. Good to be here. Did you not remember? Matt Carroll played on a competing team of ours. My first international tour in 2004. Took him overseas. So a lot of stories with Matt. We'll get to him later. But thank you for all you're doing for Athletes in Action. And man, what a great lineup we have today.
Yes.
So I want to test you out here, Chris. Okay. True, false question. You got a little bit of history with AIA. You were on our board. You brought your the King movement to our campus, right?
Yep.
But I'm gonna test your history. True, false question.
All right.
Athletes in Action started in a bar 60 years ago at the Final Four.
That's got to be false.
Yeah, most people would think that, but actually, here's what happened. It's a true story.
Oh, wow.
All right? So Athletes in Action, a part of Crew, Campus Crusade for Christ, had a staff person that said, we've got to reach the athletes. Somehow we got to reach the athletes. And so gave him the green light, and he said, well, I'm a football guy, but I don't know what to do. I'm going to go to the Final Four, and I'm going to go to the reception and just see who I can meet. So he walked in the reception, and a fellow that was had a little too much to drink. He posed the idea of a competing team that would travel and play all the colleges in the exhibition season. And that guy loved the idea. He probably didn't know what he was signing up for, did he?
Right.
And before the night was over, they had 27 games on the schedule, but no team. Sound like any of you coaches out there? Oh,
well,
man.
I remember watching AIA play as a kid on national television. You guys, they would play all the top 20 teams.
Yeah, for 36 years, it traveled and played in a Division I schedule. At one time, it was the greatest amateur team in the world. And so, but it built a platform for what is now a ministry presence on 231 college campuses. We've got a great local staff here in Indy, by the way. Awesome staff group. 68 professional teams, 95 different countries. We've got a campus in Ohio that has around 300,000 people stream through every year. And 29 years ago, you remember we started this event here in Indy. First breakfast at that time with Legends of the Hardwood Breakfast. Now we know it as Keys to Life.
Well, look, raise your hand if you were here at that very first. There it is. Clark Kellogg is definitely here.
Oh,
Anybody else?
Clark here.
Wow.
Coach Alford, Steve, you were here.
Steve Alford,
boy,
yeah.
You were
That was
5,
great.
weren't you? Okay.
Well, that's fantastic.
And then in the past 4 years, we started a gap year prep team just to continue investing in athletes and coaches. And really all of this is purposed in this, is that we play our little small part in seeing a Christ follower on every team and in every sport in every nation.
Amen.
So I'd love to celebrate just some 60-year stories of AIA basketball and bring up 3 fellas right here. How about that? 2 former staff, Troy Justice and Mike Porter. Troy is the senior vice president for the NBA in the international area. Mike Porter is the senior vice president of the Porter family. And John Wharton is the senior vice president of John Wharton. That's what he is. Well, guys, we're going to have fun here for a few minutes talking about some stories of the past. We're friends. It's been good to just spend time with you the last few days. Troy, you ended up working for the NBA after you left AIA staff. So tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so started as a player, ended up coaching Athletes in Action team, and what an incredible experience to be a part of Athletes in Action. And from there, I went into college coaching, and I was in between jobs, trying to figure out what to do. And the NBA was hiring the position for the head of basketball for India. Not Indiana, India. That's what everybody used to say. You're going to Indiana? No, I'm going to India. So 5 years I spent in Mumbai, India. David Stern hired me as the first employee to go to the country to start to grow the game of basketball. And it was an incredible experience. Met so many incredible people in India and saw basketball grow amazing. But the reason I got there is that when I was with Athletes in Action, we took 2 tours of college teams to India to play their national team and club teams. And then, because that was so good, when I was in college coaching, I took my college teams there. So over a 20-year period, I had four trips there, which uniquely qualified me for the job. And when I was in between jobs, I had 18 months of unemployment. And my prayer was, and this is, I think, the key to the whole thing, is God, I will go anywhere you want me to go, and I'll do whatever you want me to do.
So much a part of the DNA of AIA over the years. So you came from a small college in Nebraska and then ended up coaching at one of these fall tour teams. What stuck out to you?
Yeah, that was interesting because Nebraska Christian College was a school of 130 kids in a cornfield that no longer exists. And, but it changed my life. I went from a boy to a man there. I studied pastoral ministries where I became a pastor for 3 years in a church. And, you know, it's amazing to see what God does, but I can just say God takes you from Nebraska Christian, this cornfield, to now I coached against Steve Alford at University of Iowa. We go way back. Coached against legendary Denny Crum and Dick Bennett and Dean Smith and all the guys. And so it's just been a real blessing that God's plan is greater for you than you think the plan is for yourself.
That's good. Very good. Well, as you're sitting on that bench, you are coaching for a little bit different reason, but you had some fun games. 14 consecutive years playing IU, AIA did. And actually, Coach Knight, I believe, had a comment about this, didn't he, about these IU, AIA games?
We've been playing athletes in action for the past 6 or 7 years and have really enjoyed the experience. We've not found an opponent that does as good a job exposing our weaknesses and giving us things to work on as does athletes in action.
I think Coach Alford's in a fetal position down here on the floor. He's trying to gather himself. All right, that voice, all right. But you had a front row seat to Big Mike putting 39 on IU.
And I'll say this.
Tell us about that.
So they tried everybody. Calbert Cheney tried to guard him, couldn't happen. Damon Bailey tried to guard him, didn't happen. He just put up 39 and made it look real easy.
What do you say about that, Mike?
Yeah, the older you get, the more your memory kind of gets fuzzy, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a witness, man. I saw you.
Yeah, man, that was an incredible experience to play at IU. So many stories and traditions, great players. And, you know, yeah, that did happen, you know, but ultimately we lost the game. And so that wasn't fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Glad you were there for a different purpose. That's right. So talk about the people you met and interacted with a long time ago while you were on staff that just even to this day.
Well, just being exposed to so many great coaches and just people as we traveled around the U.S., playing exhibition games, traveling around the world, playing club teams. Athletes in Action is how I met Clark. Clark and Rosie, which I haven't had the chance to meet. Hey, Rosie. So many folks in Athletes in Action. The thing that was powerful for me through Athletes in Action was I come from a community in the South where you just didn't see a lot of men stay married to one woman. My uncles, my dad, they all. But man, when I came to Athletes in Action, all these dudes were pouring into their wives. They were living godly lives. I saw the gospel modeled in men like Dave Lauer, Wendell Dale, even Troy. Troy was married back then, you know, and Dave McDowell. So just the example, being around men who really loved God and seeing how it worked itself out in their daily lives was life-changing for me.
Did you meet anybody else of significance while you're on staff?
Yep, I met my wife.
Okay, all right, all right. Hey, so now listen, let's just get it all on the table here. Yep. You got Junior, plays for the Nets, right? Yep. So where'd he get his scoring from?
I will say he got his shot mechanics and skinny legs from me, And he got his accuracy from his mom, 100%.
All right, way to tell, truth teller. Okay, truth teller. All right, before we move on to John, I understand that part of the ministry that you all had was musically inclined. You had a little rap group. How about, why don't you break one off for us right now? Come on.
So we did. So Mike and I went on the road together and started this little thing. And it's been 30+ years. So do you really want to
watch out? Okay.
Do you really want me to do?
So
you want us to do
we
something?
do. Do we really want to? Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Man,
Do we want to?
Just disclaimer, all right? There's a lot of young heads in here, man. These rhymes that we're about to say are older than y'all. So...
And we wrote them.
Right.
So I'll try a little something, a few seconds. Father God, the love and devotion that I have for you, it's simply amazing, and you know that it's true. The changes you brought, Lord, the peace that you've given, the grace you've extended make me proud to be living. As a servant and a witness of the Most High God with my gospel of peace, I got my feet now shod. I'm yours, Lord, and I'm excited to say it because the game that the world plays, I don't play it. I've come to realize reality is you. Reality and peace come when men become new. There you go.
Oh, come on. Wow.
Oh, I'm a little rusty, you know.
No, that's pretty good, though.
But Mike, this is Rollo. His
no.
name was Rollo back in the day.
Do I need to?
I haven't heard that in a long time, bro.
You need a little beat? Do you need something? All right.
Yeah, real quick. Okay, I ain't sweating Armageddon that threatens the earth. I'm setting my weapons of life and death to teach lessons at lyric sessions, suggesting that we invest in correcting our whole direction. Suppression of Smith & Wesson ain't nothing but window dressing. I'm stopping this whole progression, rocking this whole profession, unleashing controlled aggression, reshaping your whole perception. No question. My whole conception is immaculate. I smack you with this representation that's highly accurate and pack it with a pinpoint precise analysis analogous to an amethyst, truth sandwiches between a rock and a hard place and power balances. One of my challenges, I DM what my seeds talents is so we could handle this scandalous new world order, rhyme evangelist on the digital tape recorder, reporter of the sort of mysteries we leave behind when our minds are blind to the signs of these times.
Oh, man. Okay, Big John, it's your turn.
Come on, John.
Go get him, buddy. Good luck with that.
Hey, I don't rap, but hey, those rhymes are definitely fire. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's good. Well, Big John.
Thank you for showing respect for your elders, man. Yeah.
Man, you had a big year with the prep team, made to the prep nationals. You guys went to the NBA All-Star Weekend, played out there, served at the events out there. Talk about your experience with Athletes in Action. What have you learned about the total athlete experience?
Man, one thing I learned is how to become a Christian, like what it means to be a Christian. Before I got to AIA, I didn't know what that meant. But through my mentors like Coach Mo and all my coaches, they really helped me find God. And, you know, I've battled a lot of loss in my life. Lost my dad a couple years ago. Experiencing some challenges now, like my mom going through stage 4 cancer. But through those mentors and leaders, they helped me realize, you know, even though I walk through the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil because the Lord is my light. He's my shepherd.
And John, we've seen you walk that out. Man, you're such a good soul. Good man. Thank you. Any last principles, fellas, that from your time that you'd say you'd like to just reflect on for just a moment as we wrap up?
Just about hard times, I would just say that God provides peace that passes understanding.
Living in this world is so driven by social media and image. Another huge lesson I learned being with Athletes in Action is that, man, God sees the heart. He sees unlike men see, and that's what we should be focusing on. How does God see us? How do we appear to him?
Well, fellas, thank you. Thanks for the time. Yep. Let's give them a hand. Well, Chris, back to you. That was real, huh? How about that?
Wow. I'm still reeling from Michael Porter Sr.'s bars. My goodness. I love hip hop. He got skills. That was impressive. But everybody was. That was great. That was great. So we have now reached the pinnacle of the moment for this morning's program. The reason we are all here, and that of course starts with Coach John Wooden. So let's take a look at this man and his remarkable life.
In 1922, Joshua Wooden gave his 12-year-old son a 7-point creed from which to pattern his life. But no one could have imagined the impact that these keys to life would have on this young man. It was the greatest dynasty in college sports history. 7 consecutive national championships, 10 titles overall in just 12 years, 4 undefeated seasons, and an 88-game winning streak. No school can match the success of the UCLA basketball team of the 1960s and 70s. The reason behind the Bruins' unprecedented success? The sport's greatest coach ever, John Wooden. And while his record remains unmatched, it was Coach Wooden's commitment to building men of character that set him apart from the rest.
I think character will enable you to come through in difficult situations more than just raw talent.
John Wooden's Keys to Life serve as the framework of an award presented each year during college basketball's biggest weekend.
Learn from others. You will never know a thing that you didn't learn from somebody else. And never cease trying to be the best you can be. Never try to be better than somebody else. That's out of your control. But never cease trying to be the best you can be.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome this year's John Wooden Keys to Life Award winner, a Indiana Hoosier at heart, Steve Alford.
Congratulations, Steve. You get your place. It's heavy.
Oh, wow. We got him up and moving here, didn't we? Well, before we get started, there's a few special guests that wanted to give you a hearty congratulations.
Hey there, everybody. Clark Kellogg here with my all-star teammates, Nate Burleson, Bruce Pearl, Kenny the Jet Smith, Charles Barkley, taking a moment to give a congratulations shout out to Hoosier legend and this year's John Wooden Keys to Life Award winner, Steve Alford. I'll let you guys have the floor. We'll start with you, Nate.
Listen, the keys to life is something that you do not take lightly, so for you to be an honoree and to accept that award says a lot about who you are and what you have done up to this point in your life. Congratulations.
And Steve, I'm gonna give love to your dad, Sam. I hope that I've been as great a mentor to my son, Steven, as Sam has been to you. I loved you as a player, I loved you as a teacher. You've just done it at every level. And so the fact that the Alford family is being recognized for contributions to the game says a great deal. Congratulations.
Class of 87. I knew that was coming. Mr. Vitalis. I used to call him Mr. Vitalis because his hair never moved. Man,
Still does.
It still doesn't, man. Great. Congratulations, man. Proud of you. Obviously, we've talked over the years and, obviously being in the same drive class and the same high school class, man, you had nothing but success. Well-deserved, my brother. Well-deserved. Mr. Vitalis. Let me look at that camera right there. You know damn well I should have made that 84 Olympic team. Just kidding, Steve. Hey, man, you were my roommate. You were such a good dude. We had so many fun nights together. You've been a friend for a long time. I told people the first time I met you, I said, man, he was my roomie at the 84 Olympic trials. You are such a good man. You've had a hell of a career.
hey, thanks for always being a friend, and congratulations, man. Well deserved.
Steve, the Bible says simply that a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Your name is golden because of what you've done, what you continue to do, and the example that you've given to all the young people that have been entrusted to your care. Congratulations to you and your family, and I know that it's simply an honor for you to have this recognition take place in your native state. Congratulations. Enjoy today.
Well, let's look at some highlights of what Charles and the crew were talking about.
Born and raised in Indiana, Steve Alford made his mark on the game of basketball at an early age. As a 19-year-old freshman at Indiana University, he was selected to play for the U.S. team in the 1984 Summer Olympics. Teaming up with future legends Michael Jordan, Patrick Ewing, and Sam Perkins, Steve and the U.S. team brought home the gold. As a Hoosier, under legendary coach Bob Knight, Alford was named Indiana's MVP 4 times and became the university's all-time leading scorer with 2,438 points. In his final year at Indiana, Steve and the Hoosiers won their 5th national championship, defeating Syracuse in the final. Chosen by the Dallas Mavericks with the 26th overall pick in the 1987 NBA draft, Alford played 4 years in the league with the Mavericks and the Golden State Warriors. Following his playing career, Steve turned his sights to coaching, taking over as the head coach of Manchester University. Over the next 2 decades, Alford served as head coach at Missouri State, Iowa, and New Mexico, posting winning records at every stop. In 2013, he signed as head coach of the UCLA Bruins, where he would lead the team to 3 Sweet 16 appearances in just 4 years. In 2019, Alford was named head coach of the Nevada Wolfpack, taking his team to the NCAA tournament in 2023 and 2024, and to the NIT tournament this year. Off the court, he is known for his strong commitment to the community. Through the Wolfpack Express, led by his wife Tanya, his players and coaches regularly visit children's hospitals in the Reno area. The program also supports the local Make-A-Wish Foundation through its Swish for a Wish initiative. And while at UCLA, he was involved in Dribble for the Cure of pediatric cancer. Steve Alford's legacy has been forged through the fire of competition for over 4 decades. And the lives of the young men he has mentored will serve as a lasting tribute to not only his passion for the game of basketball, but his heart for the future of the men he has led.
Well, first of all, Steve, was Barkley really good enough to make that team?
Yeah, it wasn't his talent. I do appreciate the video. Clark, I'm going to get Clark back on the golf course soon, but appreciate those guys very much. Kenny and I go way back. Chuck and I obviously go way back. He was my Olympic roommate, and it wasn't about, at that time, I was a freshman. I was 19 years old. I was 6'1", barely at 155. I played my freshman year at 155, so this was right after my freshman year. And I was his roommate, and him and Chuck Persons, and if you know Chuck, Chuck's bigger than Chuck.
Right.
I mean, Chuck's 6'8", and they would have a wrestle match every day in Chuck and I's room, and I was pinned up against the wall, so my family would always say, how's the trials going? I'm like, I'm just trying to survive, because the wrestling that's going on in this room is unbelievable. So happy for Chuck. He got a dream team, so he got his gold medal a few years later, so happy for him. Love Mike to death. Troy, I've known him for a long time, and Mike's up here, and I couldn't help him talking about how many points he dropped in Assembly Hall. And he talked about all the memories and all the fans and all. He kept going He needed to say all the banners. That's really what he recognized in Assembly Hall was all the banners. And so that's something we take a lot of pride in.
Another guy who played with you on Team USA, a guy named Michael Jordan.
Yep.
He bet you,
still
like you
owes
said, it was after you. I was going to ask you, after your freshman year, he said you couldn't survive 4 years under Bobby Knight. You obviously did. He never paid you back?
Has not. So he struggled since then.
Right.
But
yeah, he doesn't have, he's a little short on money.
Yeah, he's
right?
Mr. NASCAR now. So, you talk about the interest since 1987 when I graduated. That interest is pretty good right now. So
Right.
I do have a pair of his autographed shoes, so maybe he wants to buy those back so he can keep as a memento. But yeah, obviously an incredible competitor, and we're looking forward to the next Olympiad in 28 as it comes back to LA. Of getting that team back together, that'd be cool.
Oh, that'll be great. That'll be great.
Hey, Steve, family's been such an important theme for
Right.
you. Played for your dad, coached your sons. Let's hear a little bit about what your family has to say about this morning.
Hey, Steve, coming to you live from Sedona. Just wanted to wish you a big congratulations on a very well-deserved award. The way you've led your life on the court and off the court has been an inspiration, not only to your basketball team, but the basketball community as a whole. And my family wants to wish you well, and a big congratulations once again.
Congratulations, Dad. It's a tremendous honor. It was always a highlight of mine growing up and attending the Final Four with you. To go to the Wooden Keys to Life breakfast, and I can think of nobody more deserving of this honor. It's a testament to the impact you've had on countless lives and just a tremendous career in the game of basketball. I'm so proud of you. I love you so much, and congrats again.
Congratulations, Dad, on yet another incredible accomplishment in your career. I've always admired and respected your hard work ethic, dedication, and discipline to everything that you do. But to us, you're much more than all your accomplishments. You're just Dad and Grandpa. So we love you so much. Congratulations.
Hey, Steve. Congrats on being recognized for your leadership. You've always done things the right way and epitomized Coach Wooden's pyramid of success. We love you.
Hey, Dad. Congratulations on getting the Coach Wooden Keys to Life Award. We're so happy for you, so proud of you, and for an award that highlights integrity and character and leadership, I can't think of a better person and representative to receive an award. We're so proud of you.
Congratulations, Papa. I love you. Roll it down.
Hi, honey. Congratulations on receiving the Coach Wooden Keys to Life Award. You've been attending this Athletes in Action breakfast throughout your coaching career. And I know how humbled you are to receive this prestigious honor, but I also know how well-deserving it is for you to be this year's recipient. You daily exemplify character, integrity, and leadership, not only in our family, but with all the teams that you've coached and all the communities we've been blessed to live in. I'm forever grateful to God that we've known each other since the 5th grade and have this beautiful, long, and blessed marriage. Our sweet and ever-growing family loves you so much and admires the way you live out your life daily as a kingdom servant and a man of God. Congratulations again on this well-deserved honor. I love you so much.
Hello, son. We are extremely proud of you and love your faith and family values that you share so freely with our family and friends and all of your players. We are so blessed by you.
Yes, and we're proud of the 700 plus victories, but more important, we're proud of the way you've run your programs and for what you've stood for.
I got Foxy. I love you so much. I love you.
I've been praying it wasn't emotional, so you must have been praying something else, our good Lord. Had to put these videos together. So yeah, but, it's that we've always, it's just been a basketball family, and hopefully we do have a lot of Hoosiers in the house. But I grew up in a spiritual home and taught the right way. Doesn't mean you always did the right thing, but you learn about staying close to God, getting closer to God. People always say, well, why'd you go to IU? And I said, well, all you got to do is read John 20:21. And it says, so as the Father sent me, so send IU. It's the only university. I don't care about Clark. I don't care about Wally. There's only one school mentioned in Scripture. So that's where I knew I was meant to be. So it all started with family, and then just through reading Scripture, I learned my direction.
That's right. People do manipulate the Scriptures sometimes, don't they? Okay.
I get to the King James Version, but it's still Scripture.
That's great. That's great. Well, at IU, you obviously were a tremendous shooter. Some of these numbers I'm about to throw at you to prove how great of a shooter you were are remarkable. In the NCAA tournament, you shot 61.8% from three-point land. That's just remarkable.
That's about $3.5 million today.
Right, exactly. More than that. In high school...
Back in my day, that had been donated to the library fund in Bloomington.
In high school, you averaged 38 points a game without a three-point line. And then, folks in Indiana will all remember this, your state semifinal game, 1983, against Broad Ripple here in Indianapolis, you scored 57 points, 25 for 25 from the free throw line. So the natural question is, how in the world did you become such a great shooter?
There's a lot to that. My brother would tell you, I was a little bit different. I was a strange kid growing up. I was the first one to get out and shovel the drive, get the broomstick out and get the net untangled and frozen. And so I did crazy things. And one of the things I did as a youngster in my elementary years, I took a Pringles can and I emptied out all the Pringles, and I learned to shoot ping pong balls into a Pringle can, and that's how I learned touch. So it wasn't very far from me, but I just learned to shoot ping pong balls in a Pringle can, and that's, in my opinion, that was the foundation of me developing a touch.
Funny thing, Steve, we actually have a Pringles can here, I believe. Don't we? Oh, we just happen to have one.
Wow.
Yeah, and back in my day, this was the only color they had. So, yeah.
We got any ping pong balls?
Do we have any ping pong balls? Actually, I think we do over here at this table. And this table, we've got a couple of ping pong balls.
Wow.
If you got one, why don't you make your way up here, and Coach Alford's going to do a little shooting clinic for you. Oh, Clark. Okay.
Oh,
all right.
See Clark's shot.
All right.
Matt, you need one here. Oh, you got one, Matt. Okay.
So you as a kid, you actually shot ping pong balls in the, okay, all right.
Absolutely. I learned touch.
All right.
This is how I learned touch.
Go ahead.
Fire away.
Oh,
Here we go, Wally.
Oh. They're going to start chanting air ball here in a minute.
Representing Purdue. And the Bachelorette.
Oh.
Very Purdue-like.
Somebody got to hit the iron.
Finally. Finally, my man. Finally.
Here, you got two over here. Here you go.
Yep. Oh. Kentucky fan?
Oh, there you go. All right.
You get paid a lot of money to shoot like that.
And the rest of y'all throw them. There we go. Throw them. All right.
Hoosier.
Oh.
Hit the can.
Not bad. Not bad. Oh, this is good. From Knightstown, Henry County, who wouldn't move into Newcastle and lead the... Get that one. Mark should have moved into Newcastle where he would have led the state in assist. I told him growing up, just moved to Newcastle. He goes, I'll never get a shoot. And I go, yeah, you will. Pre-game, halftime, and after the game. Go ahead, Mark. Show him why you were a passer.
Wow.
All right.
Hey, it's not easy. But Clark, being a Christian man that he is, he gets it.
What does he get?
It's about how close you get to it. So, and I used to cheat. I used to put up against a window, so I had a bank. And then as I learned that, I moved it away from the window, and it was a lot more difficult. But from a spiritual standpoint, it's about the closeness. The closer you are. We tell our players all the time, you got to love her, and her's the basketball. So if you love her, she'll love you back. And that part of that love is getting close to the basketball, getting to the game, to where you get in the gym and you actually work on your skill, and you do it every single day. And when you don't, you drift away from that skill, then obviously your skills diminish. That happened to me in the league. In the league, I took up golf, which is the best game out there, in my opinion. But I took that up, and it hurt my game because I drifted away from getting in the gym and working on my game. I started playing more golf than I did actually practicing when I was with the Mavs and Warriors, so I only lasted 4 years. And so my skill diminished because I drifted. I didn't love her the way I was supposed to love her, and the way I did in high school and growing up and collegiately. And so my game drifted. And spiritually, it's the same way. You know, John 14 and 15, it's about abiding and connecting. Abiding is connecting and developing that relationship with Christ and investing in it every day. And when you drift, when you become that believer and you drift and you stay close, you know when you drift. And now you're able to turn back quicker than your days of not feeling peace are almost eliminated when you allow. You know, that's the branch and the vine. And I always tell players, you're the branch and the ball's the vine. So if you love the ball, the ball will then produce fruit. You'll be efficient. You'll shoot at a high percentage when you invest in it. Spiritually, you're the branch and Jesus is the vine. Jesus is the one that produces the fruit, not you. You're the branch. The branch just needs to stay connected to the vine. And as long as we stay connected and close to Christ, then I think we're living out the life we're supposed to live.
It's been really, amen.
All from a Pringles can.
All
Don't
from
tell
a Pringles.
Me God doesn't have a sense
Pringles
of humor.
and a
All
ping
from a
pong.
Pringles can.
So it's been really fun to watch your life and your spiritual disciplines and how they've brought you close through a lot of ups and downs in coaching.
Yeah.
Talk about some of those little daily things that you do.
Well, you know, we've had conference calls with a lot of the coaches that are in here, with you and Bill, and you know, you shared with me as early as maybe 5 years ago about 30-second timeouts, and I've learned that because probably one of my faults is I'm too competitive, and so sometimes I'd go into meetings and be too competitive, and then you say things you wish you wouldn't have said, or those type of things, and so I probably take 3 or 4, and again, I think it's part of the connectivity to be able to not just be on your knees in the morning and thanking God then, but I think the closeness piece is what you do during the day then. You know, and I think all of us believers, I was a young believer once where it was just checking a box on a devotion, and then I wouldn't do that again until the next morning. Well, that means about 23 hours go by before you're experiencing Jesus again. And I think over time, in my experiences spiritually, I've been able to go from the knees in the morning to calling 30-second timeouts during the day. Just I'll walk out of meetings, and it's just 30 seconds of involving Christ. And then obviously thanking him during the day and then at night. And the night thing's probably the hardest because I'm exhausted, usually from a day of coaching and those type of things. But I think the more that connectivity has happened in my life, the more I feel him. And that's what we try to, one, teach our players from a basketball standpoint. Coaches talk about culture, connectivity, unselfishness, relationships. We all talk about that. And I think it's got to talk with the spirit. It's got to start with the spiritual side to really sink in.
Wow, it's a lot of nuggets in there we can chew on. Such a worthy recipient.
Very
Anything else you'd like to share as we
No,
wrap
just
up?
very, very humbled. As you know, I've been coming to this event. It's a very special event, and Athletes in Action and the things you do with coaches and on phones and everything else. And I've been here all week to celebrate with not just the sponsors, but the people that you've surrounded yourself with as an organization. You can see why AIA is doing what they're doing and planting a lot of seed. And I'm very fortunate to be one of those seeds.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more round of applause for this year's Keys to Life.
Thank
Steve
you.
Alford.
Thank you very much.
Well, as we head for home, I'd like to bring up a friend of Athletes in Action. He's been on a number of international mission trips. He's been involved in the ministry events here over the weekend for
one of those seeds that Coach just talked about, right? AIA seeds.
That's right. He is one of those seeds. It's been fun to watch his life. And we've asked Jake to just share a little bit of, as we wrap up this morning, his personal story. So, Jake, take it away.
Thanks, E. Coach, I want to talk about this 30-second timeout concept because I'm new to this head coaching thing, and I think I need more like the NCAA tournament timeouts, those like kind of 2.5-minute timeouts to get some of this right. I'm gonna mention a date, February 14th, 2024. That date, my professional and really entire life changed dramatically. On that date, my boss at the time was let go, and I got called in to the athletic director's office and was asked to step into an interim head coaching role at The Ohio State University. Now, at that time in my career, I've been blessed to be a part of coaching clinics and symposiums that prepare you, try to get you ready to when you get your first head coaching job. And believe it or not, none of them talked about how to be an interim head coach. So I leave that meeting. I call my wife, who is a Buckeye, and we talk briefly. That first conversation was full of anxiety, fear, doubt, worry. We didn't know what was next for our family. We didn't know what the next day was supposed to look like. I didn't know who I was supposed to call next. Later that night, we had dinner, and after that dinner, we left to go home with just a tremendous sense of peace. Fast forward a few days, I'm getting ready to leave the house, and oh, by the way, your first game as interim head coach is against number 2 Purdue. My wife says on the way out the door, she says, just keep it close, babe. No one thinks you're going to win. She is as direct as I am, and quite the motivational speaker, too, as you can imagine. So the funny thing is, she didn't know this at the time, but about 4 hours earlier, I had actually seen myself while I was sleeping, kneeling in front of the scorer's table, just in an act of worship after we had won the game. And so I told her, I think we might actually win. And she was like, great, babe, good luck, you know. So we did, in fact, end up winning that game. And I think the reason that I was able to manage, because it was purely managing that time as interim head coach, is because the mentality she and I had was about serving others. And that was it. And so we left that dinner that night. When we talked about serving others, I had a sense of peace about what I was supposed to do. It was not about what was next for me or our family. And Coach, you give me great hope. I saw your beautiful family on there. I got 4 kids under 8 of my own, and sometimes I'm not sure we're going to make it. But I had this sense of peace, and that sense of peace came from, as Coach Alford referenced, drawing near to God and becoming close and connected with God. And, you know, in coaching, there's so many times you're tempted to give in to the anxiety that many of the coaches in the room probably feel right now this time of year. The unknown, the uncertainty that we deal with in today's landscape, and specifically in the spring, can be very challenging. But for me, trying to figure that out on my own and work harder or work with more urgency has never helped. But when I lean into Jesus and I'm drawn near to God and that closeness and connection that Coach referenced, that's made all the difference. And that, in that moment, in those moments, in those 30-second timeouts, is where I find the peace to do this. I want to read briefly from Romans chapter 10, where we're told, if you declare with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For everyone who calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. That peace that I talked about is available to all of us. God does have a plan for us, and that plan is good. The problem is we've messed it up because we sin. But God, he provides the answers and the solution through his son Christ on the cross and what we celebrate this weekend, the resurrection. All we have to do is reach out and draw near to him and get closer to him and connect with him, like Coach Alford referenced. I'd like to take this time now to say a prayer, and it's a prayer that I prayed when I was in college at Valparaiso University playing for a recipient of this award, Coach Homer Drew. And to all the coaches in the room, I am a byproduct of that influence we celebrated earlier this morning. The most influential people in my life have been coaches. And when you're tired, when you're, whatever that you feel that comes with coaching, just remember that someone like me is looking at you, watching you, and learning from you and being impacted by you. So it was my coaches in college who helped me pray this prayer. This would have been coming up on 17, 18 years ago when I was in Valpo. And, I think regardless of kind of where you are in your life, if you are interested in drawing near to God or getting to know and reaching out to Jesus for the first time, I would invite you to join me in this prayer quietly to yourself. And, this can certainly lead to a whole new life for you. God, bow your heads, please. God, thank you. I believe you have a plan for my life that includes peace. I have messed up and fallen short of your plan with my sin, and I need you. Thank you for sending your son Jesus to the cross for my sins and for defeating death with his resurrection. Today I confess I am choosing to follow you and want a relationship with you for the rest of my life. Amen. And if you prayed that prayer for the first time, or it's a prayer you've revisited from a time long ago, there are resources here throughout this room and people you could talk to, many people who I've gone to it throughout my coaching journey, to lean on and help me draw closer to God and connect with him and find that peace that we all long for in coaching, in life, and beyond. So thank you very much for being here this morning with us, and God bless.
Thank you, Jake, for sharing those heartfelt words. And I second what he said. I gave my life to Christ as a senior in college, and I had everything going for me. I was promised a good job when I graduated. I had a girlfriend I loved. I was doing well on the basketball team, all of that. But there was a void in my heart. Even though everything I had on the outside looked good, inside I had a void, and that void was only filled when I gave my life to Jesus Christ. And now God has blessed me to have a lot of great success, travel the world, covering the game of basketball, be on national television, but none of it would fulfill me without knowing Jesus Christ. So I just second what Jake said. Before everyone leaves, we just have a few more things we'd like to tell you. First of all, your feedback on how you felt about this program means the world to us. It's very helpful. So I'd like to ask all of you to please pull out your phones and scan this QR code that you see on the screen so you can give us your feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like, what you can do without, what you loved, things like that. I'll give you guys a few moments to get your phones out and scan that code. Okay, and finally, before you go, a few reminders. Remember, the silent auction closes in 5 minutes, so you have to get there as soon as we're done here. The silent auction closes in 5 minutes. You can place your bids now. Also, visit the tables where the buffet is located. In the back, you can get some great books. There's, of course, again, the silent auction. And please do not forget to sign a Get Well card for a hospitalized child here in Indiana. Thank you all for coming. We hope you enjoyed yourselves, and go have a great day and enjoy the games this weekend. Thanks a lot.
This world is always trying to tell me I need more. A bigger house, a couple cars will fill the void. But then I get it and I still feel just as poor. So I tell all that to head right out the door. Cause I woke up with a good thing laying by my side. I woke up to some birds singing, hey look, I'm alive. I got my family, Jesus, and my health. And if I got all that, I really don't need nothing else, nothing else.
This life is always trying to get me in a rush. Keep moving quicker and one day you'll be enough. But if I do that, I won't stop and smell the roses and end up being soulless and hold nobody notices. I'm getting sick of endless scrolling on my cell phone. I wanna go back to the place I had myself known. The enemy could try to kill, rob, and destroy, but one thing he cannot take is my joy.
I woke up with a good